Hello, everyone. I'm Ilona Kearney. I was running this past race, and I'm here to share my experience of um, seatac politics, campaigning, whatever you want to call it. Now, I have other people that I'm not going to mention their names in this video, but I will mention things that although they did give me permission to mention their names, but I will mention a little bit of their stories because it kind of, what you say, coincide with my experience, as well as if their short story will be told and what do you say, verified. I prefer to um, to have like a news outlet do that of verifying their story, so that way if they choose to change their mind and remain anonymous, but show all of their emails and text messages of what I'm about to talk about, then um, that will not have been taken away from them. And the only person out here would be pretty much me being attacked as usual. So um, let's start with, let's see, check my notes. How I came about running for city council. Now, I moved here, I bought my house back in 2017 here in SeaTac. I like the area. It's not in Seattle and it's not Seattle problems. So those things were important to me. I want to have grandkids one day to raise here. I want to buy more houses, of course, for my kids to be able to have their own home here, whether I help them in co-signing whatever it takes. But SeaTac is a beautiful place to me. Um, when I started getting involved, like I've been involved in politics prior to this, as far as when I lived in Florida, I always thought that it was important for youth to understand that whatever, don't use the complaint of things are impossible. And I'm more of a judge a person by their character, not by their color. So even in the argument of racism, I don't look at a person who may say a racist slur as so much as I'm seeing them as this person is racist, but I'm looking more at their character of they're a nasty person, they have nasty character. I'm judging those characteristics because at the end of the day, people should be accountable for their character. And racism is something that, to me, character can be changed, but racism is something that is, I would say, taught and can be unlearned and can be helped by, sometimes whether it's spreading and showing love, showing that person something different. Because I've experienced living in having racist neighbors and having a experience with cops, but I do not turn around and I don't say, oh, I hate all cops or that I feel like I should defund them, because at the same token, I need them. But those specific cops, yes, I did come and file complaints and I did my diligence in taking my stand. And that's what I would teach the kids is when, when there are things, we don't make a broad assumption, but we attack the issue itself and not a everyone and lump people, as well as if something feels impossible, oh, that these laws are against me, or this is wrong, or that judge is racist because he made this such a judgment. I would bring in different policymakers, my Congress and my states Senate representatives, and those, and I have them too. If anybody want to verify them, because they would be willing to vouch that they participated in my nonprofit that I had in Florida. of teaching kids that instead of saying impossible, say that I'm possible and learn to brainstorm ways to resolve issues and not complain about issues. Because at the end of the day, politicians are not gods. They don't know everything. They are trying to find, hopefully, trying to find the best solution for everyone. And which is why in my um, statement when I spoke at city council, I said that I don't think diversity of council is has to do with skin color or race. It has more to do with diversity of personality because a black person could be up there and not represent my thinking or my values or my views. And a person could be up there, a Korean person could be up there and not represent the Korean community as a whole. But I do know that in our communities, I might like, I might be a black person that don't eat fried chicken. This is what people would stereotype us as. And here my neighbor who is white loves fried chicken and they can get along with the other, so we all fit into different categories and it has nothing to do with our race, but it's our diversity of thinking, our views. So if we have that type of representation on council, then it kind of tackles everyone, no matter what your race or your background is or your politics, because some people like to keep pointing out who's a conservative or who's a Democrat. And at the end of the day, in this community, none of those things make a difference because if no one's saying that if we go out here and we're saying let's feed the homeless. Nobody's saying, oh, what political party you belong to. Oh, you belong to that political party, you can't help. Nobody thinks that way. Nobody's saying those things. So my I homeschooled my kids growing up from my daughter from elementary, my son from middle school. And I would take them into different political arenas, also at police um, meetings that were open to the public for them to, like express different things they see going on in their community so they can learn that they have a right to have a voice and then that their police officers are part of the community as well. So to build that relationship. I know we always look for the police to build a relationship with us, but I always taught my kids to build it with them or people that you feel that you have an assumption that, and your assumption may be true, that there's an issue between you and them to go and start building a relationship because I find that when people get to know you, then they start to treat you different. They start to see you more humanistically, or they start to see that you're not what they are prejudging you or stereotyping you as. Granted, yes, a lot of us feel that that shouldn't even have to be. We should not be stereotyping, but face it, everybody, including me, have some type of prejudgments or reserves about different people or different situations, whether it's from our experience or things or patterns that we see from certain groups. So that's and and I don't necessarily say I feel like it's my job to change their mind about it, but I just love help changing people's perception of, what they see and learning to give people the benefit of the doubt. Now, I have spoken with different people. Like people have come up to me and said, "Oh, you should run for city council." I'm normally the person, yeah, I like to advocate. I like to just be part of the community. And when I see a need, jump in and, be that voice because, uh, I know politicians probably go through a lot. They have to be attacked a lot by people. And, I like a peaceful life. Who doesn't? I'm pretty sure the politicians like their peaceful life as well. But when I was approached about, you know, certain things that I advocate for, I'm not a fan of how Seattle is ran. I'm pretty sure a lot of us are not a fan of how Seattle is ran. And so when it's brought to my attention that, oh, you need to run because they're getting ready to bring Seattle to SeaTac and nobody else wants to run because everyone else um is afraid or they're like me. You want your comfortable life. You don't want people in your personal business, but somebody has to stand and rise up to the call. And then, of course, yeah, if nobody else is going to step up, this is my community. I bought a home here. I'm young. I didn't buy a home because I'm gonna be dying soon and I could care less what happens to the next generation, but I care. I'm young. I still have grandkids and things to go. So those things matter to me, especially when somebody says they're bringing Seattle to SeaTac. I moved to SeaTac because it was not Seattle but it was close enough to go to Seattle, but not have Seattle issues. So yeah, that's originally my how I came about. So now I'm gonna shift gears a little bit. I'm still gonna be talking about how I came to about running, but getting ready to throw a little welcome to CTAC dirty politics in here. My reason for bringing this subject up is because the people who originally encouraged me to run have backpedaled and decided to call me a liar. Now, I have text messages, emails, and then of course there's my truth of my word of what has been said amongst us. As well as other people's. Like I said, I'm going to be talking about theirs that they've shown me their screenshots of what was being said about me behind my back by these same politicians. and and I have no problem that these same politicians keep telling me this is dirty politics. This is dirty politics. I was prepared for dirty politics. In fact, I was more so prepared for it from my opponents, from Iris or Jake, those type of dirty politics expectation. But I didn't get that. Although Iris always comes no matter what. Iris and I come for each other on different platforms. But Iris and I have actually, I was surprised when she agreed with me on something, but it's been a while for me to really recall. So I could still respect it that she has a platform and she has her things that she stands for, and I have my things that I advocate for, and we're both passionate about it. So if we agree, we agree. If we don't, we don't. But we stand for what we stand, and that I can respect that. But that was not the dirty politics that I thought that I was gonna get. It was funny that the dirty politics was the people who actually made me think that they wanted me to run. It was the fact that I thought that I had this support, but then found out that this support was actually doing everything to was doing things to destroy my name. One person in particular, Peter Kwan, he has always known Iris and I to be at odds in in politics. So it was a good strategy to pitch us against each other. So when that was kind of the ordeal of run against Iris, I could see that. Um, Not that I was going to play race as part of it, but I know that for him seeing the race factor that I'm a woman of color and she's just not of darker skin color. And so she almost kind of doesn't, I get those strategies and how he thinks the game should be played, which that is fine because no matter what his strategy was, my platform was what it is, what it was and still is about protecting our families, our community, keeping our parks, making more parks, don't shut down the BMX, those type of things, these catalytic converters, addressing those issues. I was going to stick to those, but and I know that there are people who probably see outside looking like, oh, I'm not really going to care about who's running, just more so of what the person looks like, I guess. That's I'm not sure if that's how the whole strategy of his go. But when I signed up, I when he was telling me about the deadline and to sign up, I did not realize I was signing up for the wrong seat because when online it just said the incumbent's name and not the other people names that were running against me on that platform. So I just picked one. It didn't make a difference because, like I said, I'm just running. And that part of the strategy, I figured really wasn't that big of a deal. But I see for Peter, it was that big of a deal. But my whole thing of the whole strategy was that I'm here to save our city from dangerous Iris Guzman. I didn't realize that the goal was not for me to win, it was for me to be the sacrificial lamb. That is disrespectful to me as a citizen of seatac. That is disrespectful to me. But even in the Christian community, Jesus had was asked by God if he would be the sacrificial lamb, and he had a choice. He said yes, he would do it. So for anybody to think that I don't have a right to have a choice if I'm going to be the sacrificial lamb for SeaTac City Council to throw me under the bus, then I don't know what to say. I would have appreciated to at least been let in on that part of the strategy. If you're going to say, let's let Ilona be the sacrificial lamb, because really we're going to try to keep Pam here on the council. But that's not what I was told. I was told Pam is an emotional basket case, that she in fact that's how I even was start how I even knew about city council and coming to city council, because I originally wouldn't have come, because normally when I go to political things, it's mostly more federal, like Congress and state representative. Like I said, I've never really so much as done city. I've done county before, but never city. So city was only interested me because Peter Kwan told me about Pam's emotional breakdowns and storming me out of meetings. That's just pretty much like watching Days of Our Lives. And I just thought it was hilarious and that I should come and watch. But then when I came and watched and I saw, oh man, there's more things to know about my city and to speak up about, because my home is very important to me. And I always just thought that the bigger things were more important because they trickle down, but immediately city is important. So it stopped being more about the entertainment of Pam Fernald's um, as the world turns on city council, and more about the community. But not just in running, even prior to running, I have some politics that I'm going to be sharing. But and the reason why I'm sharing it is because it goes with my feeling of I'm a permanent resident, and I don't want my community to be dissentious and contentious type of living because someone thought it was fun and games to ask me to run, then go and tear me down and to manipulate our voter base. I don't like when I witness someone throwing a rock and then hiding their hands and then everybody's fighting each other. And so in addressing some of that with our politician, I'm gonna say, instead of put a plural on there, because one specific one is great at that because he has the time and he loves doing it, of making you think he has your back, and then he's behind your back with someone else in their email setting you up for this argument to go amongst each other, so that way he can come in and be the knight in shining armor of seatac, or the godsend of seatac. And I will reiterate, welcome to dirty politics, like they like to keep telling me. And I get that. Like I said, Iris Guzman, I can respect, because that woman, she at least, although I disagree with her on different things and different platforms and views of the way she may go about things, and at least, like, even, I want to say, I think out of the whole campaign, she may have really attacked me once, but she really wasn't really attacking me. She was inadvertently mentioning me, and I responded. But I only responded because I know that someone else was puppet stringing that situation prior to that. Out of anything, whatever she Googled, in which anybody can Google and come up with something, she shared what she thought she knew, not anything that she really had factual or 100% of anything. But, it's like anybody else. If they came in, and if I Googled something and I posted, hey, this is what I found, doesn't mean it is all the way 100% true. There are some things maybe missing, because either you have to dig deeper, or some things are just not open, or it's there in front of you, you just don't see it. But do I feel like she manipulated the information? No, I don't. In fact, no. Uh, Whatever she Googled and stuff. We have our own information about other things, but that's really not here nor there. I just only mentioned that to say that the other person playing the puppet strings did the same, almost the same thing, but knew other information and knew the whole truth and other facts and had other facts. But let's put it, Peter knows how to take enough of the truth and sprinkle a whole lot of deception around the truth. So that way, because you have that one piece of truth, everything else becomes a fact to people. And that I don't appreciate. And that's what I'm going to address. I'm also going to even say, even more obvious, to say that how I got backstabbed in this whole plan is, let's take Pam Bernal. She's the one who brought it to my attention. I always pray, make my enemies my footstool. Whatever's done in the dark, bring it to the light. And the whole time I was thinking in my head that this information, that God was going to reveal Jake and Iris. But Jake and Iris are pretty much up front. Jake hasn't even really attacked me at all. So kudos. But uh and it comes out that Pam tells another constituent, in which I have that text message, that I'm her enemy, that I'm the scum of, pretty much basically beneath her and disgusting to her and all this other stuff. So like, I'm just might as well basically be the scum of the earth to her. But that's not how she was when I was speaking up for city council, and that is definitely not how she was when I spoke with her at the botanical gardens, and not the things coming out of her mouth. But when she kind of revealed some of the plan of the city council, basically Peter Kwan is the one who orchestrates their strategy for them. I was like, "Oh, okay. So that's the dirty politics that you really wanted me to know about." It because, to be honest, Iris nor, Jake has actually done anything dirty as far as politics. They have not manipulated any information that they have shared, not even to the point of, like, I know, like, when Iris says that, Kong hasn't lived here that long, that's information on what she could find, and that he's married. That's information on what she could find. But if she would if she would dug a little deeper, or and I could tell that she doesn't have someone that she's paid to have dug up some stuff, because if she would have dug up some stuff for real, she would have known that he was registered, and then someone unregistered him who had a power of attorney paper that he didn't know was out there, and then he had to re-register, which is why he was registered the date that he ran, and then it's like a whole bunch of stuff that would have been known. But I mentioned that to say that that's how I know that Iris was not manipulating information or had paid someone to dig up bad stuff on Kong. She just went with the blanket of what anybody can Google and look up. So and that to me is not dirty politics. That was She was just politicking, and I guess you would call it dirty when you just start slinging dirt or pointing out someone's flaws. But at the end of the day, I don't think nobody really cares. But for me, dirty politicking is when you're smiling in my face and I've been your biggest ally or your biggest rallier at city council meetings, and we've met at had private meetings where you've texted me to come meet with you on things that are going on and how we need to change these people's thinking and minds, because I'm a great influencer, but I don't like being manipulated or lied to or fed deceptive information to try to convince people to do something. Because when I advocate, I I really have a heart for what I advocate for, and I'm passionate about that. And I don't like that to be abused, and that pisses me off. And how disrespectful of you, Peter Kwan, because you've lied to me constantly. And not to mention that you lied to me. You think that I don't know that you're lying to me, because I'm going to tell you, when you said that you didn't send BCC my email and my things to other people, let me tell you, I am not dumb that when somebody re- sends me an email and then you lie to my face constantly, that hurts and that's disappointing, because I told you to stay out of the middle of instigating between me and Pam, and I would leave it alone, but you didn't. But you wanted to spread something about me to make these people come after me in my email. So now, Peter, I'm getting ready to show all your emails, and that you are a liar, and that you're going around and you saying you try to make these little statements that, oh, I know of her, or I didn't what is it? What's the other thing they say that you say? Oh, I didn't know that she was gonna run. I met her at an event. You met me at an event? Well, I'm gonna show pictures of events that you and I was at. That will be in my next video. We will get down to a little bit more details, because I have to take a moment and bring myself back together.